And when you have an experience, there is no argument. I wish I could preach this like I feel it here. When you have an experience, there is no argument. If somebody tells you that if you have Alzheimer's, it cannot be reversed, that might be a fact, but it doesn't have to be true. I don't know, because Alzheimer's is plaque in the brain, and the plaque begins to cover the membranes of the vessels in the brain, and as a result, circulation of oxygen is depleted and hemoglobin doesn't flow properly, and you begin to have cells that retard, which introduces you to this dementia. You may be right, however, God can come in your brain in the midnight hour and turn it, and you'll wake up saying stuff they didn't think you could say. And what was Alzheimer's now is no longer, because if you have an experience, there is no argument. You're looking at me funny, but I'm not scared of any of you. You can have a lump in your breast, and you can be scheduled for a double mastectomy because you have a double stage cancer trying to surface in your chest. And the doctor, the gynecologist, and the specialist has come in and said, we have to give you a double mastectomy so the cancer does not metastasize through the rest of your body. And you're crying not because it's done, but you're crying because of what they said. But there are occasions when while you cry, you pray. While you cry, you call on God. And you say, God, I know what the doctors have to do, but is there anything you can do before I go under the knife? I just want to know, is there a miracle in the layaway for me? Is there something you want to do for me before I go under this anesthesia? And God can give you a... And if you ever had God remove a lump in your body, if you ever had God regulate your blood pressure, if you ever had God cause you to get a nosebleed to stop a vessel from busting in your brain, from having an aneurysm, you know God by experience. And anybody can say anything they want to you, but once you've had an experience with God, you are not ashamed to tell the world that can't nobody do me like Jesus. Touch 5 people, tell them nobody, 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 nobody. Can you imagine if you've been talking to God before you're this, before your layoff, before your firing, before your divorce, before the chaos on your job, before the sickness in your body? If you were talking to God before this, then while you're in this, God doesn't stop moving on your behalf, because he has plans for you after this. If you knew God before this, you'll talk to God while you're in this, and you have plans after this. Tell somebody, I knew him before this. Let me I used to think I gotta wait for God to turn it around, but I've learned I can give God glory before this. And sometimes my praise, giving God glory, will get me delivered, because God is used to hearing me give him glory. He's used to hearing me tell him thank you. He's used to hearing me say hallelujah. And he's not going to let anything disrupt our fellowship. If God has to bring collision and run over some stuff so you can still keep your sanity, if he got to come in and knock over some stuff so you can still keep your sanity, thank God for your collision. Thank God for everybody that blocks you, because it just makes your miracle more significant. It makes your miracle more important, because Daniel had to crash into his destiny of interpreting.